What is up, YouTube? Welcome to episode 114 of the Chaos Daily. It's been a while. I wanted to get this episode out like 3-4 days ago, but yeah, my ISP took a dump and I had no internet for like 4 days. So yeah, sorry about that. Not much I could do about it. I really did try to get it up and running, but they dropped the ball on their end. It was no good. Telstra sucks. Internet in Australia in general sucks. But it's just the way the dice rolls. Anyways, let's get into it. The wings are nearly done. We'll go over in a minute. One of them is pretty much done. The other one I've just started working on. So I think, yeah, this one's the one that's nearly done. I've got a little bit of work to do on the underside here. The top surface is just gorgeous though. Perfect. And this one, I basically just started the surfacing process. So first up, what I did was I cut from this 1mm carbon fiber sheet, like I mentioned in the last video, to create this spar that runs the whole length of the wing. Once I epoxied this in and trimmed it and started putting everything in, this is so incredibly strong. This wing is so nice and stiff. It's lightweight. I'm blown away with the results. It's performing far better than I expected, and that's a good thing. So this plane should fly amazing. Like there's no way that this wing can flutter. It's incredibly stiff and super nice and lightweight, so I'm super happy with that. So after installing the carbon fiber, trimming it, putting on the leading edge with epoxy, then comes the hard part, sanding. Now the trick with resin, if you can, it is better to scrape than abrade. Yes, you scrape it, use a knife or a straight hard edge. Like woodworkers, they've got these metal plates or like flat plates that they use for scraping wood. It is better to scrape than it is to abrade. Abrading creates a lot of fine dust particles that are bad for your health. You have to wear a respirator and all that. You still have to wear a respirator when you are scraping, but the particle sizes are much larger. In fact, you get sort of like chips or little hairs and stuff. It's a lot easier to deal with like that. And when sanding, using wet sand. So I have a pool noodle here with some 800 grit sandpaper on it. I've been using this has been working really well, and keeping it wet, bucket of water on hand all the way through, and then for like niggly bits and stuff. And then also when I finish assembling everything, I go through with the hand file, this little hand file, as well as my knife, and I get rid of any of the high spots first. I try and wear down any high spots first before I start doing the overall sanding. And once you got everything roughly to the point where it's all flat like this one is, I've got mostly all the high spots taken off of this one now, and then everything's nice and smooth. The top surface was pretty easy. Just taking out all the high spots and then doing the sanding is enough to do that. But the bottom sides, where the support material was holding on to the parts, that's a little bit trickier. Because of the way the support material holds it and pulls off the bed, you end up with like troughs and valleys. It looks like exaggerated orange peel, and you can't just sand that off. It's too much, and for the skin thickness that I have on the wing, if I did that, I'd start wearing holes into it. So what I did was I took a brush and some of the resin, and I gave it a fine coat over the whole thing. Let it sit for a couple of minutes, let all that resin sort of pool into the deep spots and run off of the high spots, and it sort of evens out the whole surface. Then I'll put it under the sun and let it cure. Wipe it off, start sanding, and then you get this much more smooth surface. Let's see if we can get it in shot there for you. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so that is far better than it was before. Just a lot of sanding left to do on this one to get it to the point where this one is at, and we chuck this one in front of the light so you can have a look. This one is just incredible. It's almost reflective in some places. So getting the paint on this is going to be amazing. You can see there on the bottom surface, it is pretty much reflective. So I'm super happy with the results so far. Just a little bit more work to do on the wings. And then it's on to the next part, which will be assembling the fuselage. So I've done some initial sanding on the fuselage parts. They're looking pretty good. They printed almost perfect. So there's very little work for me to do. Again, just on the underside, there is a little bit of work to do where the support material leaves those troughs and valleys. If we look at that through the light, see if we can get more of an idea of what I'm talking about. And you can see that sort of like exaggerated orange peel look. So yeah, we just want to try and remove all of that, those bumps and stuff. So because these are as pretty close as they are, I can go ahead and just assemble the rest of the fuselage together, get it all stuck together, and then work it all at the same time so that we make sure we don't get any uneven ridges where the join sections are. And once that's all together, then I just have to do the control surfaces, and we're ready for paint. So yeah, next episode, fuselage, and possibly paint. We'll see how well this goes. So yeah, super sorry about the delay again on this episode because of my internet going down. Not much I could do about that. But yeah, next episode, we're going to come back in a few days' time, and things will progress some more. So as always, I've been Chaos. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. And until next time, expect the unexpected. I will see you guys later.
And a special thank you to all my patrons that help support the channel. If you would also like to support the channel, there's a link in the description.